Okay, so this is Geometry is Easy, question 8 in the Geometry of Straight Lines. So question number 8, whoops, that's the wrong pen. Let's write question 8 in the corner over there like that. Okay, so now we just have to give the reasons. Remember, you must give geometry reasons always in every single question that you do. So our job here is to identify the angles and then decide if this statement is true and if so, why. So it says A1 is equal to C1, which is over here. Now look at this shape. This shape's actually quite interesting. Can you see? Here is a line and here is another line. These ones are parallel, okay? But this figure is nice because it's got two sets of parallel lines. This one here is parallel to the one on the bottom. So we can give them their proper geometry names. So this means that the yellow lines are transversals of the orange lines, but also that the orange lines are transversals of the yellow lines. And this fellow over here, this pink one, if you look, can you see it is cutting this yellow line? Yes, it's a transversal for the yellow parallel lines, okay? But it is also a transversal for these two orange lines, which makes this very interesting. What it also means, though, is that it means that this shape over here, A, B, C, D, this shape here is a parallelogram because it's got two sets of parallel sides, okay? So it's a parallelogram. So parallelogram rules will also apply to this, as well as the ordinary rules for one pair of parallel lines. So let's go back. It says A1 is equal to C1. What is my reason? Well, can you see parallel line, transversal, parallel line? It's making a zigzag. These are alternate angles on parallel lines. Okay, now it says to you, what happens if you look at A1, yes, plus A2? So that's this whole angle A is A1 plus A2, plus B2, here is B and there is B2. They are equal to 180. Well, if we look here, can you see we've got a nice C shape? So when we have a C shape, we have co-interior angles on parallel lines. Okay, and then the next one, A1 plus A2. So A1 plus A2 means the whole of angle A equals B1. Here is B1 over here. Now this one's not so obvious. Why is it not so obvious? It's not so obvious because they chopped off your parallel lines. Remember, you can extend your parallel lines if you want to, just like you can block off parts of the drawing if it confuses you. So look at the green thing I've drawn here. Look at this green thing I've drawn here. What do you see? You see a pair of parallel lines, and AB is the transversal. So then, what do you call it when you zigzag across parallel lines? If you zigzag across parallel lines, you have alternate angles. Remember, they're alternate angles on parallel lines. Okay, what's coming next? It says A1 plus A2, so that's that whole angle, plus D1. D1 equals 180. Well, this is a similar situation. If we have a look here, here is a line, here is its parallel partner, okay? And then if we extend this line, it is a transversal of those two parallel lines. So if you just look at the green things, can you see the parallel lines with the transversal? And then if we come and have a look at these angles, can you see they are making a nice C shape, well, or a U shape, but it's a bit upside down, but never mind, you can see it's making that cupping shape. So that cupping shape is co-interior angles on parallel lines. Okay, let's keep moving. Then it says to you B1 plus B2. Where's B1? B1 over here plus B2. Oh, have a look here. Of course they equal 180. Why do they equal 180? RBC is a straight line. Okay, or you can say angles on a straight line are supplementary. Okay, what's next now? B1, here is B1 equals C1 plus C2. So C1 plus C2 is this entire angle in here, okay, and B1 is this angle over here. Now have a look here. I'm going to draw you a nice F. Well, nice relatively speaking. Can you see here this line? My goodness, what is happening with my pen here? Can you see this line is parallel to this line, and these ones are cupped inside there? Well, they're not cupped, they're sitting under the hanging one. So these are F angles. Can you see the F lying like this, and then the two angles are sitting in there? So these are what we call corresponding angles, because corresponding angles are F angles. On parallel lines, I can't fit the on parallel lines in. Make sure you write the on parallel lines. Do what I say, not what I just did. Then it says C1 plus C2 plus C3. So here's C1. Can you see C1? Here's C2. And here's C3. Okay. And it says C1 plus C2 plus C3 equals 180. Because this is angles on a straight line add up to 180. Can you see here, going upwards is my straight line, and these two lines are just bumping into the straight line, and that's how we know that that's 180. Okay, now let's look on this other side here. It says D2, here is D2, is equal to C1 plus C2. Can you see here's C1 plus C2? I'm going to show you the upside down F like this. Here comes this line. Here comes that line and that line. And now remember, this line and this line are parallel. So this little F is fitting in there. So these F angles are corresponding angles on parallel lines. And then it says to you, what's next? D2, here is D2, equals A1 plus A2. So look, here's A1 plus A2 over here. Now once again, we need to think about extending this line here. So let me get my green pen. Look at, oh my goodness, what happened there? I don't know what happened there, but hey, I don't know what happened. Let's go back here anyway. I want my green pen. If I draw this line here and I draw this line here, okay, can you see this line is parallel to that line? And then if I draw in this line over here, this line is a transversal of my parallel lines. So if I look again, what do I have here? This is not showing up. What do I have here? I have a Z shape or an N shape. Can you see? I've got this situation here, and that means I have alternate angles on parallel lines. Okay, then we've got D2 plus D1, D2, 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 D2. plus D1 equals 180. Well, this one is obvious. Here is a straight line. Okay, so we can say HCT is a straight line, or we can say angles on a straight line are supplementary. Okay, fill out the whole supplementary word. I don't have space there with my giant pen. Then it says to you A2, here is A2, is equal to C2. Can you see here is C2 in there? And we are making a nice zigzaggy Z again. And if we are making a zigzaggy Z, they are alternate angles. Okay. Now, what's next? We're nearly done with this question. We've got D2 equals D4. So here is D2 and here is D4. This is one of the rules that doesn't involve a parallel line. Look, straight line, straight line. These are vertically opposite angles. And so vertically opposite angles, they are equal. Okay, what are we left with again here? D4, D4, here is D4. Okay, equals C1 plus C2. Where is C1 plus C2? Here is C1 plus C2, both of those angles there. Have a look again. I've got a zigzaggy S. Okay, can you see the S? And the angles are inside the S like that. So these are once again alternate angles. Okay, now remember what I said, that you can extend this line. You can extend this line, parallel line. These two are parallel like that, and here is my transversal, which is giving me those alternate angles. Okay. And then what are we left with here? What else must we look at? It's the last one. It says D2 plus D3 equals 180. So here is D2. Can you see here? And here is D3 over here. And look, this is a straight line. So we can say AD, my handwriting, ADP is a straight line. Okay, so if they are a straight line, then angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees.